I don't know if it seems to line up properly, but let's use that to kind of, you know, hold in place just to see. I'm going to put that sucker back in there. Oops. Oh boy, crap. There we go. I think my best bet is to potentially try something in general a little more easier, because I know the weird part is this doesn't want to play nice with this. So I'll probably just revert it back into probably a standard CO2. Nope. See see what just happened there? See, when I loosened up, the trigger kind of went like that. That's another little thing that you have to be actually wary of, is the fact if you tighten this too much, it sometimes pushes too much on the internals of this thing, causing this to not want to lock back properly. So you saw it here, people. But now let's try actually. See, look, now it's actually working properly. That I wasn't too sure, but unfortunately it's been a while, so it's the fact that this was way too tight. And that's pretty much, well, yeah, pretty much what happens if you try to tighten it way too much. So I'll take that out now, and I'll reinstall this on so that way it holds it a little bit easier. But unfortunately, I was kind of stupid. I put that into it way too soon. I need to kind of put the other. As you can see, there's a little tiny little hole where this little pin goes. Fits snugly in there. Now potentially use obviously the bigger part of this, and then potentially this little guy right there just kind of, you know, sits on the main spring right there like that. And you push down like so until pretty much this little guy's like that. Then pretty much just slide that into place, go like so. And unfortunately, like I said, we just leave it like this until we put the main top part on, because if it goes like this, it goes like that. But unfortunately, it kind of wiggles around, so always keep it like that, makes it easier. Good to go. Okay, so now the next thing it would be to assemble the rest of it. As we usually know, I'll punch you up this side first, like so. Use my little overgrown nail, which I need to probably take a shower and trim it again. That sucker right in there, and there you go. This next. Fortunately, I won't lie, this part usually likes to kind of flop around and around like a fish, so it usually will kind of will try to fall apart. So if I push it a little too much this way, it will just fall out. So that's always the kind of annoying part, but luckily enough, it's pretty easy to get back in there. So yay. Go drunken whiskers. Unfortunately, I will potentially start with a shotgun that I bought. I will actually, if I'm lucky, I will actually do a full video about how I actually build bracket systems for it. So you'll probably, if you're lucky enough, I might actually try that today, if I'm feeling courageously stupid enough to try. Now, this little sucker, as usual, same as before as the last one. Put your thumb there, push it like so. I can really feel that it's really pushing, so I have to be very careful. But as you can see, this one's different, so it's actually more flat. So therefore, and this kind of little part fits into the little square part. Now, carefully let go. And because it's flat, it actually potentially pushes already on it. So it's like a flat part, so it's just really pushing on this, so keeping that part held down. So you don't need to worry too much, but still, it's always good to put a little bit of pressure. I don't need to put up here because it's more discernibly flat, so I don't need to worry as much. Okay, feels like that's not going exactly down straight or properly. Okay. Yeah, that's another thing. If you think in general that it's going like when it's that high up and it isn't going eventually down properly, you might just think, oh, it's getting tight. But if you just start pushing it down, you will cause problems or strip it or cause some issue with the gun later. So be smart and be safe and potentially just unfurl it and then try again. After all, potentially a well-fixed firearm is a happy firearm, and potentially the only idiot that's gonna I guess to quote a joke from the Fallout series from Fallout 3 from I think it was like the DJ guy from the Fallout series. I think it was 3 Dog. If you don't potentially maintenance your gun, the only wasteland or butthole that's gonna get killed is you. If you obviously, because your gun won't work, so obviously you're gonna be the one dead. Or in this case, in airsoft, you're gonna be the one shot having troubles with your weapon. Now see, it's not gonna go on, so you saw that, see, because this part's down. So just to make sure that you guys don't think I'm actually messing around, see, will not go. You can try forcing it, you're just going to break your gun. So fortunately, sometimes it's easy to go like that, push it like that, then punch you, hold down, cock back a little ways, then. And to make sure that potentially you think, oh, what will happen if it doesn't, I'll just kind of show you. See? Or in this case, in general, for whatever reason, when last time I actually played, somehow my thing was somehow like this for whatever reason, but it was like slightly, because of the magazine is actually holding it somewhat unsteady when I fired, and for whatever reason my magazine fell out. My thing went like that. I looked like a complete turtle-sized turd. I have to admit, it was hilarious, and I admit that it was hilarious. Unfortunately, I forgot to add one of the pins in, which was this little guy, so actually that's an easier mistake if you do that. And since I did make the mistake, I can recorrect it. Unfortunately, what side should I place it on? Well, I usually sometimes like to place it on this side because, because if I'm going to knock it out, I prefer to knock it out on that side. So I'll just have to unscrew those again. Like I said, it's been a while, so unfortunately, I haven't really been bothering to do this for a little while, in a sense that I still do it, but I just haven't been, since this coronavirus, I haven't been practicing. So unfortunately, this thing doesn't have a more discernible side of the little more scratchy side. So, but if it had the more scratchable side, I'd actually potentially put it, the other way. So it just kind of goes in there, and then kind of, just push it with like that, and then proceed to put your top filling back on. Okay, just making sure. I just like to have this little discernible white side on the bottom because, me being me, I like a little bit of symmetry with that. Yeah, sometimes it is easier with these ones to just kind of try to do it by hand like that, just to kind of get it going. And sometimes, as far as you can get it, sometimes it's the best. But that one I can tell on the top is kind of acting funny, so I might need to unscrew that one as well. This one I got lucky enough that it didn't really do anything too discernible. So just kind of like that. Unscrew that one. Okay, now I need to kind of properly align it as best I can, which fortunately this is always the hard part. Sometimes they don't like to align really well, but this time this time it's aligning properly. Now, as in general, it's starting to get a little slack, so just don't just cram it on there. Like I said, you kind of always want it to be a little bit loose, because if I tighten it like crazy, like I said, that's maximum tightness. That's not what you want. You want it to just be kind of minorly, just a few inches off from being like heavily tight. Then make sure the gun don't works well. And also, yes, tightening these things in general can cause other issues later on. But unfortunately, it feels a little unstable, so I will have to tighten it a little bit more. Fortunately, your best bet is to always usually have the top up here decently tight, not as tight as you can get it, but as tight as it possibly kind of wants to be. And we're having these ones always just a tiny bit looser for reasons. If you do this for yourself, do it for yourself. You'll notice that kind of if you have your own M9 Beretta right now, if you actually do so right now, and like tighten the top part a little tighter, and potentially leave the bottom one just a little bit less tighter. You won't really notice it, but you'll kind of notice that it feels just a tiny bit strange, in the sense that it feels a tiny bit more comfortable. as you can see, when I pull it back, it's acting a little funny, but that's just because, like I said, the parts aren't worked in. Sometimes some guns will work perfectly, sometimes they won't right off the bat, so as you can see, it's kind of acting a little funny, but that'll take some time for it to be worked in. So usually what you want to do is, before you actually fire it off, is to, and then for a little bit. Make sure that the safety works, obviously. See? Now it's when I actually click it back, it doesn't have that issue anymore, see? You kind of want to work it into the gun. And unfortunately you saw it right here, and you saw me build it up from the ground up. There was no cuts. So you know the fact that I'm not lying to you when I say, like I said, now it's working itself in. See? So there it is, pretty much, for people. You pretty much saw it here, and I did make mistakes, and you saw the mistakes, and you saw the fact that when that bolt was too tight, this was not cocking back properly, as you saw. And that's actually the one reason why I like the WeTech, is because the bolt goes all the way through, actually eliminating sometimes that slight issue. Because if it's pushing too hard, it causes it to get unstable, causing this little sucker nut to be a little bit causing it to potentially act like that. So I'd say, I don't say they're either one is better, or I actually like both of them. It's just I prefer WeTech because it has that one little differential that I like. Unlike some of these, like the KJs. I like KJ, trust me. I do like how they feel and so on. But I'd say in my mind, both of them, I wouldn't say I like or either. I'd say I'd more either one. Okay, I will say I like the Wii ones better, but in the sense that I don't actually have any discernible reason why to hate any of the others. They're all good in their own way. Like, I like this one just the way it is. It feels nice. Unfortunately, it looks like for whatever reason it's still not even wanting to get all the way up there. So that aside, unfortunately, it looks like I'm pretty sure the issue is the fact, for whatever crazy reason, the magazine, because I'm noticing that, I'll take that off, when I push it up, as you can see, it doesn't go all the way nearly up to the top where it should be. So I'm pretty sure if I found maybe something like a different type of magazine type, that would actually fit this a little more easier, or probably like if KJ does actually have CO2 mags for these things, or some different, I'm pretty sure there's, like, I think it could be KJ or KGC, I don't remember which one, but if there's a CO or green gas version, I'm pretty sure it should work for these. That is where WeTech probably won't be, because, like I said, they're different, the widths are different. So that's that in a nutshell. So unfortunately I'll have to call it there. Enjoy the rest of your day.